So today I'm going to be giving you my list of the best free-to-play games on Steam in 2021. And of course, we're going to be covering games from a lot of different types of genres, so if you guys are in the mood for something in particular, feel free to check the full list of the games down below in the description. And while you're there, don't forget to like and subscribe, as it, of course, helps support the channel and prove to the YouTube algorithm that small YouTuber lives matter too. Anyways, I'm Nocturnal, your source for gaming, anime gaming, and everything else in between. And let's get right into it. Now, to start off our list, we have none other than one of the premier titles in the action RPG genre, Path of Exile. A satisfying hack and slash at its core, PoE has proven itself to be one of the deepest and richest games the genre has to offer. The customization begins with a choice between 7 different base classes, but it's down the rabbit hole from there, as the way you play the character is dictated by a vast passive skill tree and thousands of different items, abilities, and perks. Countless events, difficulties, and a league system that brings new content to the game every few months ensures that there's always something different to experience in the game. The developer, Grinding Gear, continues to keep its nose to the grindstone year after year with its clear vision for a free and ever-expanding sandbox world. And to top it off, a dedicated and helpful community is welcoming for all different types of players. And of course, everyone knows an adventure like this is best enjoyed with friends, so hop into the action in groups of up to 6 people, and do so totally free. Next, we have Runescape. What, Fortnite gamers may ask? Since its prehistoric beginnings, Runescape, Old School, and Runescape 3 have proven against all odds, and graphical improvements, that a game dedicated to world building, content, and a steady, consistent progression can carve its way into today's gaming market. And while most games and MMOs are in a rush to impress you visually and with shiny, albeit inconsequential loot, the long, gratifying simmer of leveling up skills and obtaining items in RuneScape is actually rewarding and is something likened to a fine acquired taste. For gamers with some patience and time, you will find yourself uncovering decades worth of lore, creatures, puzzles, and mysteries, and an intricate skill and customization system that, honestly, you'll probably never master, but it's totally worth the effort to try. And depending on how far you're willing to go, RuneScape rewards you for your efforts with cool interactions, prestigious rewards, and a thriving player base to show this all off to. So, whether you decide to jump into the modern rendition of RuneScape, RuneScape 3, or the older but still actively played and updated old school RuneScape, each world is imbued with the vast wisdom and content of 2 decades, and is a game that will continue to grow and captivate gamers for years to come. Fighting games may be one of the oldest and most competitive cookies to crack, but Brawlhalla, with its charming cartoon aesthetic and welcoming gameplay, is one of my favorites when it comes to challenging many of the classic franchises. Its simplicity upfront is just the tip of the iceberg for this rich fighting experience, however, and with a continually growing roster of over 50 characters, there is plenty of creative ways to express your fighting style. This depth is perpetuated by the weapon system in the game that works in tangent with the characters, and mastering and synergizing both is essential to your success. Of course, from here, the sky is the limit, as the game itself is host to a huge competitive scene that has grown since its inception in 2016. And while not everyone's going to be striving for that sweet $1 million prize, Brawlhalla is engaging no matter where you are in the competitive ladder. Just be mindful not to get too tilted on this one, as you will get knocked down, air comboed, and outplayed at least a few times on your journey to prominence. A journey that will be fun to experience either way, with as many different, and sometimes chaotic, maps and modes. Of course, nothing says chaotic like battle royales themselves, and such is the case with the colorful, spellbinding chaos that is Spellbreak. With the power of the elements at your fingertips, Spellbreak infuses the BR formula with a dynamic, magic-based combat. Rain lightning from the sky, or shatter the earth with massive boulders and shockwaves. And with 6 different elements to choose from, there's a school of magic for every fit. This of course goes beyond just slinging spells at one another, and each of the elemental gauntlets and their abilities interact uniquely with the world and others around you. poison tornadoes, fiery boulders, and puddles of dragon flame are but a few of the countless magical manifestations you'll find yourself conjuring or potentially dodging on your journey. Spellbreak takes its gameplay to the next level with its over-the-top mobility and utility, and as you explore, you're given the freedom to fly in the air, go invisible, or even reverse time for a while. Partake in the free-to-play action in teams or solo, and with games of up to 42 vow breakers. As the storm closes in, there's no limit to the magic and wonder Spellbreak has to offer. Magic? How about magic and guns? Alright, that may be a little bit of a generalization when we talk about Paladins, but when it comes to bringing together magic, guns, and a wildly diverse character design into one free-to-play multiplayer looter shooter, few do it better. And there's several reasons for that. Alongside being a consistently fun alternative in the genre, the game blends many familiar elements from itemization and throws them into different maps and objectives that go beyond just your normal shoot-and-go FPS. Different roles and a myriad of playstyles allows players to compete the way they want, whether it's tanking, healing, or just doing some damage. And Paladins, during its Steam tenure, has continued to add to its already colorful roster of characters, and is home to a competitive scene. So regardless of whether you want to take part in some casual arena combat or take your skills to the next level, the field is set for you to do so. And as the game continues to evolve and maintain its cartoonish charm, it remains one of my favorite free-to-play picks on Steam. Destiny 2. There's a lot that can be said about this grand space adventure and its many years of development. And from its initial fall to its rise back to intergalactic prominence, Destiny is no less fantastic, exciting, and chock full with exploration and lore, as it's only continued to add to its content and world over these years. No matter what corner of the solar system you find yourself in, the game is beautifully crafted, filled with mystery, and is host to one of the most dynamic particle-filled space combat available. 3 classes, thousands of unique weapons, armor, and vehicles are all at your disposal. Lasers, swords, laser swords, and explosions of every shape and color, you name it, are all available as you take on deep space. Destiny's offering to free-to-play players includes the entirety of its core and vanilla content, as well as expansions from its first years. With content to explore and replayable PvP and PvE activities to engage with, Destiny is a fully fledged MMO gaming experience, regardless if you decide to play for free or delve into its newest expansions. The MOBA genre, not to be forgotten, sees its innovative spirit carried on in none other than Smite, wielding the power of the gods, mythological creatures, and talking raccoons. Smite is a fiery blend of strategical MOBA gameplay and exciting third-person action combat. Each character, legend, and myth is powerfully represented as you are handed the reins to cosmic and catastrophic skills, abilities, and interactions. Pitted against a team of other players at all times, there is so much to learn, master, and ultimately conquer in this competitive MOBA, a game that is continuously building on its pantheon of characters year after year. And while most MOBAs are limited to a few maps and a singular game type, Smite expands on this formula and allows you to take part in games and modes of all different forms. 3v3, 5v5, sieges, conquest, there's a different way to play and compete every time you hop in. Smite is an amazing game for those looking to explore the MOBA genre, or even change it up from other titles. And as a game that embraces over-the-top combat fitting of clashing mythologies, it is an exciting and compelling playthrough for all gamers. Genre-defining, innovative, loot boxes. Fortunately, the latter has no bearing on actual gameplay, and Apex Legends, since its inception, has been one of the most prominent names in the Battle Royale genre, and for good reason. The game is every bit as sophisticated as your favorite shooter, with a large arsenal of weapons to master, a rich cast of characters to play, and a fast-paced, high-skilled Battle Royale gameplay to wrap them all together. Where most Battle Royales, and even games, will lose their luster after a while, Apex continues to entertain players with its content updates and developments. New maps, new characters and weapons, and the same neck-breaking competition that keeps you hungry to play is a rare exception to EA's AAA standard of oftentimes watered-down paid content. And so long as you can stand to ignore those tasty cosmetics and loot boxes, Apex Legends is one of the best free-to-play offerings for gamers looking for that fantastic shooter battle royale action on Steam. Albion Online. Released in 2017, it would be easy to mistake it for the other game on our list it bears striking resemblance to. But beneath the cartoonish and concise design lies a completely unique sandbox title, an expansive fantasy world, and a game that has carved its own path in the MMO genre. Unlike most titles, Albion is committed to its vision of a player-driven game. A full loot, PvP open world, and a player-driven economy allows you to define how you approach your adventures in the game. Fight endlessly for land, loot, and glory? Sure. Achieve riches and become the finest crafter in the land? You bet. In fact, the extensive crafting combat skill system forces you to specialize and really think carefully about the choices you make. And of course, because of this, quick tip, you may just want to band together and find some friends and guilds to take this all on. All of this is set in a world that is full of different creatures, items, and mysteries that come together in a game that sets the tone for an experience that is as cutthroat as it is exciting. And that's it for my list of free-to-play recommendations on Steam. Each of these games offers something different for players looking for a top-down, well-developed, and engaging gaming experience. But that being said, this is just my personal opinion and my list, and there are definitely plenty of other great options and titles to enjoy, so feel free to just keep exploring and trying new games. Alrighty guys, as always, thanks again for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and of course, comment down below what your favorite free-to-play Steam game is, and if I missed your favorite game, feel free to let me know so I know what to cover next. And as I mentioned earlier, don't forget to like and subscribe, as it does, of course, help the channel, and more importantly, help me get that best gaming, anime, and anime gaming content out to you guys every week. So stay tuned for that and hit that notification bell, and besides that, we'll see you guys next time.